Dive into the deep blue sea where mystery and danger lurk beneath the waves. Get ready for heart-pounding adventures with shark attack stories that will keep you on your seat. Each story is a thrilling journey into the unknown, filled with close calls and breathtaking escapes. So hold your breath because these shark encounters are like no other. Stay with us till the very end to discover the power and beauty of these magnificent creatures in a way you've never seen before. Not long ago, a very skilled man named John Andrews lived in the beautiful waters around Cocos Island, Costa Rica. John loved the ocean more than anything. He was not just any diver, he was a brilliant spearfisher. This island was unique, not only because it was surrounded by the bluest waters, but also because it had a secret beneath its waves. Beneath these waters lay a hidden reef of colorful fish and other sea creatures. But this place held another secret. It was the home of the Hammerhead sharks, especially during their breeding season. One sunny morning in 2001, John decided it was the perfect day for an adventure. He had heard stories of the hidden reef and its treasures. He knew it was risky because of the hammerheads, but John believed in respecting the ocean and its creatures. He thought his understanding of the sea would keep him safe. So he packed his gear, which included his trusted spear gun, and set out on his small boat towards the reef. John reached the reef and looked into the water, like looking into another world. He put on his diving gear, took a deep breath, and dove into the ocean. As he swam down, he saw the reef come alive with fish of every color. John was amazed. He moved carefully, not wanting to scare the fish or harm the reef. He was in their home now and wanted to be a good guest. As he explored, John found a perfect spot to wait for fish. He was reticent and patient. Soon he caught a few beautiful fish. He was proud but also thankful to the ocean for its gifts. Suddenly John noticed something moving in the water around him. It was a school of hammerhead sharks. They moved gracefully, like dancers in the water. John knew he had to be very careful. He remembered everything he knew about sharks, telling himself to stay calm. But then one of the sharks noticed John's spear gun and thought it was a threat. This shark started to swim closer to John, its eyes fixed on the weapon. John's heart raced. He knew he had to stay calm. He couldn't run or fight. He had to think like the shark. John remembered that sharks respect space, so he slowly moved his spear gun away, showing he was not a threat. The shark kept coming closer, and John could see it was big and looked strong. But he also saw something in its eyes. It wasn't just anger, it was fear. John then understood that the shark was protecting its family as any creature would. He knew he had to respect that. John slowly backed away, keeping his eyes on the shark and watching the others. He moved with slow, calm movements, showing he meant no harm. The shark watched him, and after a few tense moments, it turned and swam away with the others. John let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. He looked around at the beautiful, dangerous world he was in. He felt a deep respect for these creatures and their home. John knew he had to leave now. He had caught enough fish, and he had learned an important lesson. He slowly swam back to his boat, thinking about his adventure. He knew he would never forget this day, the day he looked into the eyes of a shark and found understanding. As John swam back to the surface, his mind was full of thoughts. The encounter with the hammerhead shark had been a moment he would never forget. He had gone into the ocean as a hunter but felt more like a student. The sea had taught him a valuable lesson today about respect and coexistence. John reached his boat and gently placed his catch inside. He took one last look at the reef below, a silent thank you to the sea and its guardians. The journey back to Cocos Island was quiet. John steered his boat through the waves, each splash reminding him of the delicate balance of life under the sea. He thought about the hammerhead sharks and how they were often misunderstood. They were not monsters, but creatures trying to live their lives, just like him. John felt a newfound respect for sharks and all ocean life. He realized that every creature had its place and purpose in the world. As the island came into view, John's thoughts turned to what he would do next. He decided to share his story, not as a tale of a daring encounter, but as a lesson on the importance of understanding and respecting nature. He wanted others to know that the ocean was not a place for humans to dominate, but a world to be shared and cared for. Upon reaching the shore, John met a few curious locals who had noticed his boat and were eager to hear about his catch. He shared his adventure, focusing on the moment of connection with the hammerhead shark. The locals listened intently, their eyes wide with wonder. John's story spread quickly, inspiring the young and old to see the ocean and its inhabitants in a new light. In the weeks that followed, John became something of a local legend, but he didn't care much for fame. He was more interested in spreading his message of conservation and respect for the ocean. He started working with local conservation groups, helping to protect the reefs and the marine life that called them home. He even began teaching diving and spearfishing, always emphasizing the importance of understanding marine behavior and respecting the ocean's rules. Years passed, and John's encounter with the hammerhead shark became a defining moment. He never forgot the feeling of looking into the shark's eyes and seeing not an enemy but a fellow creature trying to survive. This experience changed his relationship with the ocean forever. He no longer saw it as a place for conquest, but as a source of wisdom and beauty to be preserved for future generations. John's adventure had started as a simple fishing trip. Still, it taught him the most important lesson of his life, that coexistence is possible when there's mutual respect. The ocean had accepted, led him, and finally sent him back to land a changed man. And for John, that was the most incredible catch of all. As the sun set on Cocos Island, John stood on the beach looking out at the vast ocean. He felt a deep connection to the water, the reef, and all its creatures. He knew he would return to the sea many times, but always as a student, ready to learn from the vast, mysterious world beneath the waves. In the calm and dark waters of Tamales Bay, California, a marine biologist named Emily Johnson lived. Emily was fascinated by the ocean, especially by the tiny creatures that could glow in the dark. These creatures were called bioluminescent organisms, and studying them was Emily's life's work. One night in 2003, Emily decided to explore a secluded bay only a few people visited. She hoped to see the glowing creatures up close and learn more about them. Emily carefully prepared her boat, ensuring she had all her equipment, including lights that could shine underwater. These lights were unique because they helped her see the glowing creatures better. As the sun set, she exited the bay, her heart excited. The night was quiet, and the water was like glass, reflecting the stars above. When Emily reached the perfect spot, she turned on her underwater lights. Suddenly, the dark water around her boat came alive with colors. It was like 1,000,000 tiny stars were shining in the ocean. Emily was amazed. She had seen bioluminescent organisms before, but never so many all at once. It was a dream come true for her. She took out her notebook and started to write down everything she saw. As she was busy observing and taking notes, Emily didn't notice a shadow moving in the water towards her boat. It was a hammerhead shark attracted by the lights. Hammerheads were rare in this part of the ocean, and Emily had never seen one so close before. She was so focused on her work that the shark's presence took her by surprise. Suddenly, she saw the shark's silhouette against the glow of the bioluminescent organisms. It was a beautiful but also a scary sight. The shark was enormous, and its head looked strange and vast. Emily knew she had to be very careful, recalling everything she had learned about sharks, reminding herself not to panic, to stay calm, and to respect the shark. The shark swam closer, curious about the lights and the strange creature, Emily, in its world. Its tail accidentally brushed against Emily's arm as it came closer, causing a small cut. It was a scary moment for Emily, but she knew she had to stay calm. She slowly turned off the lights, hoping the shark would lose interest and swim away. To her relief, the shark seemed confused for a moment. Then she gracefully turned and disappeared into the dark water, leaving behind a trail of glowing organisms. Emily looked at her arm. The cut was not deep, but it was still a shock. She realized how lucky she was to have seen a hammerhead shark up close and how dangerous it could be. Being in the dark, her heart beating fast, Emily felt fear and awe. She had come to study the glowing creatures but learned so much more. She had seen the beauty of the ocean at night, the fantastic sight of bioluminescent organisms, and the unexpected grace of a hammerhead shark. As she bandaged her arm, Emily knew this night would be one she would never forget. It was a reminder of the ocean's mystery and power, and the need for respect and caution when entering another creature's world. After her encounter with the hammerhead shark, Emily sat quietly in her boat, the lights still off, surrounded by the natural glow of the bioluminescent sea. Her fear was slowly replaced by a profound sense of wonder and respect. The ocean at night, with its glowing inhabitants and majestic creatures, was a world Emily realized she was only beginning to understand. The cut on her arm was a small price to pay for the lesson she had learned, the importance of coexisting peacefully with the marine life around her. With her heart still full of awe but now steadied by resolve, Emily decided it was time to head back. But she didn't want this night to be just a memory. She also wanted it to be a lesson for others. As she steered her boat back to the shore of Tomales Bay, she thought about how she could share her experience. She wanted to teach people about the beauty of bioluminescent organisms and the grace of the ocean's creatures, even those misunderstood as the hammerhead shark. Once back on land, Emily's first step was caring for her injury. Though minor, it was a stark reminder of her encounter. After cleaning and properly bandaging her arm, she sat at her desk, surrounded by her notes and sketches of the glowing sea life. It was late, but sleep was the last thing on her mind. She began to write a scientific report and a story about her night in the secluded bay, her observations, the stunning display of bioluminescence, and her rare encounter with the hammerhead shark. In the days that followed, Emily's story spread. She was invited to speak at local schools, community centers, and even a regional conference about marine biology. Her tale of that night, filled with beauty and caution, captivated everyone who heard it. She emphasized the surreal beauty of the bioluminescent world beneath the waves and the grace of the hammerhead shark, a creature that, despite its fearsome reputation, had shown her the importance of understanding and respecting the natural world. Emily's experience became a powerful message of conservation. She advocated for protecting marine habitats, emphasizing how even a single night's observation could change one's perspective on the ocean and its inhabitants. Her story inspired others to learn more about marine life, respect the ecosystem's delicate balance, and advocate for the protection of endangered species, including the misunderstood hammerhead sharks. Years later, Emily would reflect on that night as a turning point in her career and life. It deepened her commitment to marine biology and her efforts to promote ocean conservation. The encounter had been brief, but its impact was lasting. She had entered the bay as a scientist, armed with equipment and seeking knowledge. She returned as a storyteller, bridging the human world and the mysterious, glowing world beneath the sea. Emily's story of that night in Tomales Bay, California, became a beacon of inspiration. It reminded everyone who heard it of the beauty hidden in the ocean's depths, waiting to be discovered and protected. Through her words, Emily Johnson shared the wonder of the bioluminescent bay. She taught a valuable lesson about coexistence and respect for all living creatures, whether big or small, ordinary or extraordinary. And so beneath the stars, in a bay where the water glows and the sharks swim with unexpected grace, Emily found a story worth telling, a lesson worth learning, and a world worth protecting. Many amazing sea creatures live in the deep blue waters around Layang-Layang, Malaysia. This place was special because it was home to the hammerhead sharks, especially during their migration season. Among these creatures swam a young and curious hammerhead shark, not yet fully grown but full of life. One sunny day, a woman named Sarah Lee, an underwater photographer, arrived at Layang-Layang. She had a big dream: to take the perfect photo for a famous nature magazine. Sarah loved the ocean and all its creatures. She believed her photos could show the world how beautiful and essential the sea was. Sarah had heard that Layang-Layang was where you could see hammerhead sharks up close. She was excited and a little nervous. She knew getting a photo of a hammerhead shark, especially a young one, would be amazing. So she prepared her camera and diving gear for her underwater adventure. As she dove into the clear waters, Sarah felt like she was entering another world. The coral reefs were colorful, and fish of all shapes and sizes swam around her. She took some photos, but her heart was set on finding the hammerhead sharks. Sarah swam deeper and soon spotted the silhouette of a hammerhead shark in the distance. It was the young one she had hoped to find. Her heart beat faster with excitement. She followed the shark, trying to get closer for the perfect shot. The young hammerhead, sensing someone was following, became nervous. It tried to swim away, but Sarah focused on her camera, didn't notice. She was so determined to get her photo that she didn't see she was cornering the shark against the reef. Suddenly, the shark turned towards Sarah. I felt trapped and scared. Quickly, the shark brushed past Sarah, its fin scratching her arm. Sarah was startled and realized what she had done. She had scared the young shark, and it had defended itself in its fear. Sarah looked at her arm. The scratch was small, but what happened made her think. She had come here to capture the ocean's beauty, not scare its creatures. She knew she had to be more careful and respect the space of the wildlife she so loved to photograph. As she swam back to the surface, Sarah's mind was full of thoughts. She had learned an important lesson, not just about photography, but about coexisting with nature. Sarah emerged from the water, the sun warming her face as she reflected on the encounter beneath the waves. The scratch on her arm was a gentle reminder of the fine line between pursuing her passion and respecting the natural world. Layang's underwater beauty had captivated her, yet in her zeal to capture the perfect shot, she had forgotten the most essential aspect of wildlife photography: the subject's well-being. Back on her boat, Sarah carefully cleaned her wound, the saltwater sting a testament to her oversight. The incident with the juvenile hammerhead wasn't just an accident, but a turning point. She realized that her actions, however unintentional, could have consequences. The ocean was not a studio, and its inhabitants were not models to be directed, but wild animals in their natural habitat. As she sat there, looking at the endless ocean stretching out before her, Sarah made a decision. She would not let her ambition overshadow her respect for wildlife. This experience had taught her humility, a quality every wildlife photographer needed but often overlooked. The ocean had been her teacher, and the young hammerhead shark her unwitting instructor. Determined to make amends, Sarah spent the next few days focusing not just on photography but on learning. She spoke with local conservationists, understanding more about hammerhead sharks, their migration patterns, and the challenges they faced. She learned that these magnificent creatures were often misunderstood, and that their survival was threatened by human activities. Months later, Sarah's photos were published in the prestigious Nature magazine with a twist. A narrative was alongside the stunning images of coral reefs, tropical fish, and yes, hammerhead sharks. Sarah shared her story of the quest for the perfect shot and the lessons she learned in Layang. She wrote about respecting wildlife, understanding their behaviors, and the critical balance between human interests and nature's rights. The feature was a hit, resonating with readers around the world. Sarah received accolades not just for the beauty of her photographs, but for her honesty and commitment to conservation. The young hammerhead shark, which could have been just another subject, symbolized her journey from a photographer to a conservationist. In the end, Sarah's adventure in Layang was more than just a quest for a photo. It was a journey of growth and understanding. She had set out in search of the perfect shot. Still, she found something far more valuable: a profound respect for the natural world and a renewed purpose to protect it. The ocean's lessons were clear, and Sarah was now its student, ready to share its truths with the world. And so, in the serene waters of Layang, Malaysia, a photographer's error became a lesson in humility and conservation, reminding us of the delicate balance we share with the creatures of this planet. In the sparkling waters of the Great Barrier Reef, Australia, there was a small island surrounded by deep-sea secrets. Near this island, a treasure hunter named Alex Thompson embarked on an adventure to explore a shipwreck that had just been discovered. Alex was not just any treasure hunter. He was a man who loved history and the stories hidden beneath the waves. One bright morning, Alex set out in his small boat, filled with excitement and curiosity. He had studied the history of the shipwreck known as the Sapphire's Rest, a merchant ship lost to the sea over a century ago. According to his research, the ship was rumored to carry a fortune in gems and gold. But for Alex, the real treasure was the story of the boat and its journey. As Alex dove into the clear blue water and approached the wreck, he was amazed by the sight. The Sapphire's Rest lay silent and majestic on the ocean floor, its structure home to colorful coral and schools of fish. Alex swam through the narrow passages of the wreck, his flashlight cutting through the darkness, revealing secrets that had been untouched for years. But Alex was not alone in the water. The locals had long spoken of a guardian of the deep, a giant hammerhead shark that patrolled the seas around the shipwreck. They said the shark protected the Sapphire's Rest, keeping away those who dared to disturb its peace. Alex had heard these stories, but only just now believed them. As he explored the wreck, Alex felt a shadow pass over him. Turning around, he came face to face with the guardian itself. The hammerhead shark, with its distinctive broad head and unblinking eyes, regarded Alex as an intruder. The shark circled him, its movements slow and deliberate, as if warning Alex to leave. Alex's heart raced. He knew he had to remain calm. Hammerhead sharks were known to be territorial, but not mindless predators. Alex remembered his studies on shark behavior. He knew that sudden movements could provoke an attack, so he slowly backed away, trying not to startle the guardian of the deep. The shark continued to circle, watching Alex's every move. Alex moved carefully, respecting the shark's territory, but the narrow passages of the wreck made it difficult to retreat. He realized he was trapped, with the guardian blocking his way out. At that moment, Alex understood the local legends were not just stories. The hammerhead shark was indeed the protector of the Sapphire's Rest, and Alex had ventured into its domain. He needed a plan to escape, to navigate the wreck and the watchful eyes of the guardian without harm. With the guardian circling closer, Alex's mind raced for a solution. He recalled a part of the wreck he had studied, a secondary passage that might offer a narrow escape. The key was to move without alarming the shark further, a challenging task in the confined space of the wreck. Drawing on his deep-sea diving experience and knowledge of the ocean's creatures, Alex slowly inched his way toward the passage, his movements deliberate and respectful of the hammerhead's territory. Alex couldn't help but admire the shark's grace and power as he navigated the wreck's labyrinthine corridors. It was a creature perfectly adapted to its environment, a faithful guardian of the deep. The hammerhead seemed to sense his intention to leave, its circling becoming less threatening, more observant. Finally, Alex reached the passage. With one last look at the majestic shark, he swam through the narrow opening, his heart still pounding from the encounter. Back on his boat, Alex took a moment to catch his breath and reflect on the experience. He had come searching for treasure but found something far more valuable, a profound respect for the natural world and the legends that had grown around it. The hammerhead shark, the guardian of the Sapphire's Rest, was no longer just a part of local folklore. It was a living symbol of the ocean's mysteries and its need for protection. Word of Alex's encounter spread quickly upon his return to the island. The locals were eager to hear his story, and as he shared his experience, the legend of the guardian grew. Alex spoke of the hammerhead not as a fearsome monster, but as a noble protector of the wreck's history and its hidden treasures. His respect for the shark and the marine environment resonated with the islanders, reinforcing the importance of preserving their natural heritage. The story of Alex's dive and his peaceful encounter with the hammerhead shark became a part of the island's lore. It was a tale that spoke to the heart of conservation, blending the thrill of discovery with a message of respect and coexistence. The Sapphire's Rest and its guardian had taught Alex a valuable lesson. The most incredible treasures were not gold or gems, but the stories and experiences that connected us to the natural world. As time passed, the legend of the guardian of the deep continued to inspire locals and visitors. It served as a reminder that the ocean's depths hold wonders and guardians worthy of our admiration and protection. For Alex, the memory of that day at the Great Barrier Reef, locked in a silent dance with the hammerhead shark, remained a defining moment in his life, a vivid testament to the delicate balance between human ambition and the majesty of nature. In the crystal-clear waters of Ningaloo Reef, Western Australia, a place of incredible beauty and home to a diverse marine life, an eco-tourist named Lily embarked on an adventure she would never forget. She had joined a guided snorkel tour, eager to explore the underwater wonders of a conservation area renowned for its population of hammerhead sharks. Lily had always been fascinated by the ocean, but had never seen a hammerhead shark up close. The day was bright and the water inviting as Lily and the group, led by a knowledgeable guide named Jack, slipped into the sea. Jack had spent years studying the reef and its inhabitants and was passionate about sharing his love for the ocean while promoting conservation. He briefed the group on safety and the importance of staying together, reminding them that while the reef was beautiful, it was also home to many creatures that demanded respect. As they explored the vibrant coral and swam alongside colorful fish, Lily's curiosity got the best of her. She was mesmerized by the underwater world, so different from her own, and she slowly drifted away from the group, drawn by the reef's beauty. Before she knew it, Lily found herself alone, the sounds of her fellow snorkelers fading away. Suddenly, she felt a presence. Turning around, Lily came face to face with a curious hammerhead shark. Its eyes, set wide on its distinctive head, seemed to study her, and for a moment time stood still. Lily's heart raced, a mix of fear and fascination filling her. She remembered Jack's words about the sharks being more curious than aggressive towards humans. However, facing one alone was awe-inspiring and terrifying. The hammerhead circled Lily slowly, its movements graceful and measured. Lily remained still, recalling advice about staying calm if encountering a shark. Despite her fear, she couldn't help but admire the creature's beauty and how it moved quickly through the water. Meanwhile, Jack noticed Lily's absence and quickly counted the heads of the tourists. Realizing she was missing, he signaled the group to stay put and began searching for her. Jack knew the waters well and understood the behavior of the hammerhead sharks. Still, he also learned the importance of keeping the group safe, especially the less experienced snorkelers like Lily. As Lily floated there, watching the hammerhead shark, she realized how little she knew about these creatures beyond the frightening stories often portrayed in movies and TV. This encounter, though tense, was nothing like she had imagined. The shark seemed not aggressive but merely curious about the lone human. Lily's fascination turned into a profound respect as she observed the hammerhead. Its sleek form glided through the water, a perfect blend of power and grace. After a few more circles, the shark seemed to accept Lily's calm demeanor, and with a final, lingering look, it swam off into the depths of the reef. At that moment, Lily connected to the ocean and its inhabitants like never before. She realized that these creatures were not the monsters of lore but essential parts of a delicate ecosystem. With years of experience navigating the waters of Ningaloo Reef, Jack quickly located Lily. He approached her, his demeanor a blend of relief and gentle reprimand, his concern evident even as he reminded her of the importance of staying with the group. Together they rejoined the tour, Lily's encounter with the hammerhead shark becoming the highlight of the day's adventure. Back on the boat, Lily shared her experience with the group. Jack took the opportunity to educate them further about hammerhead sharks, emphasizing their role in the marine ecosystem and the importance of their conservation. He spoke of the shark's curiosity, debunking myths and fears and highlighting the need for respectful coexistence. Lily's encounter with the hammerhead shark had a profound effect on her. It transformed her fear into admiration and respect, turning her into an advocate for marine conservation. She realized that experiences like hers were crucial in changing perceptions about sharks and the ocean. The day at Ningaloo Reef ended with Lily feeling grateful for the encounter. She had come seeking adventure but left with a mission: to share her story and contribute to the conservation of these magnificent creatures. Her experience, supported by Jack's expertise, became a testament to the beauty of the underwater world and the importance of preserving it for future generations. Lily's adventure at Ningaloo Reef was more than just a snorkeling trip. It was a life-changing encounter that deepened her connection to the ocean and its guardians, the hammerhead sharks. On the beautiful north shore of Oahu, Hawaii, a young and ambitious competitive surfer named Jake Thompson was preparing for an upcoming tournament. This beach, known for its powerful waves and clear waters, was a paradise for surfers worldwide. Jake had always loved the ocean, and surfing was more than just a sport. It was a way of life. Early one morning, with the sun just peeking over the horizon, Jake and a few other surfers entered the water, eager to practice and perfect their skills. The ocean was calm and the waves were just right, promising a good day of surfing. As they paddled out, the camaraderie among them was palpable, each surfer sharing the same passion and respect for the sea. However, their peaceful morning took an unexpected turn. Jake noticed a large shadow moving beneath the water's surface as he awaited the perfect wave. At first, he thought it was just another surfer, but as the shadow came closer, he realized it was a hammerhead shark. Panic surged through him, and he could hear the other surfers' shouts and splashes as they spotted the shark. The initial instinct among the group was to flee, to paddle back to the safety of the shore as quickly as possible. But Jake, frozen in place, couldn't tear his eyes away from the creature. Instead of displaying aggression, the hammerhead shark moved with a mesmerizing grace. It circled the group of surfers slowly, its eyes seemingly curious about the visitors to its territory. Jake's fear gradually gave way to fascination. He had heard stories of sharks being fierce predators, but this encounter was nothing like those tales. The shark seemed to be studying them, not threatening. Jake remembered reading that hammerhead sharks were generally not dangerous to humans unless provoked. This knowledge and the shark's calm demeanor eased some of his anxiety. As the minutes passed, the surfers' frantic movements ceased, and they watched in awe as the shark continued its gentle patrol. Jake, now more curious than afraid, couldn't help but admire the beauty and power of the hammerhead. It was a rare moment of connection between humans and one of the ocean's most misunderstood creatures. The shark eventually swam away, disappearing into the deep blue, leaving Jake and the other surfers in amazement. As they paddled back to shore, the atmosphere was one of reflection rather than panic. Jake felt a profound gratitude for the encounter, realizing that the ocean was home to many creatures, each deserving respect and space. Back on the beach, the surfers gathered to discuss what had happened. The encounter with the hammerhead shark was a stark reminder of the ocean's vastness and the delicate balance of life within it. Jake felt an internal conflict stirring within him, a mix of residual fear and a newfound respect for the shark and its territory. The surfers then decided to respect the shark's presence, acknowledging they were visitors to its home. This communal resolution began a broader conversation about coexistence with marine life, challenging their perceptions and fostering a deeper understanding of the ocean's inhabitants. As the day went on, Jake couldn't shake the image of the hammerhead shark from his mind. The encounter had left a lasting impression, igniting curiosity and a desire to learn more about these magnificent creatures and how surfers and marine life could coexist peacefully. In the days following the unexpected encounter with the hammerhead shark, Jake found himself diving deeper into the world of marine conservation. His experience sparked a significant shift in perspective, from viewing the ocean solely as a surfer's playground to seeing it as a complex ecosystem, teeming with life that deserved respect and protection. He started to educate himself on the behavior of sharks, their importance in marine ecosystems, and the threats they faced from human activities. Jake's newfound respect for marine life influenced his interactions with the ocean. He became more mindful of his actions, ensuring that his surfing activities did not harm the environment or disturb its inhabitants. His conversations with fellow surfers now often included discussions on marine conservation, sharing insights about the peaceful nature of most sharks and the importance of preserving their habitats. The story of Jake's encounter with the hammerhead shark quickly spread among the local surfing community and beyond. It became a powerful narrative that challenged common misconceptions about sharks and emphasized the possibility of peaceful coexistence between humans and marine life. Jake's experience served as a reminder that surfers, as frequent visitors to the ocean's realm, were responsible for protecting its residents. Motivated by the encounter, Jake and some of the surfers who shared the experience decided to organize a local initiative to promote shark conservation. They partnered with marine biologists and conservation organizations to host educational workshops and beach cleanup events, raising awareness about sharks' critical role in the ocean's ecosystems and the need to protect them. The initiative gained traction, drawing attention from the wider community and inspiring others to take action. Local businesses, including surf shops and schools, began to support the cause, offering resources and platforms to spread the conservation message further. The hammerhead shark, once feared, had become a symbol of the surfing community's commitment to safeguarding the ocean and its inhabitants. As the date of the upcoming tournament approached, Jake felt a profound connection to the ocean that went beyond his passion for surfing. The competition was no longer just about winning. It was an opportunity to showcase the harmony that could exist between surfers and marine life. With the support of his fellow surfers and the wider community, Jake used the tournament to promote the message of coexistence and conservation, dedicating his performance to the guardian of the deep that had changed his perspective forever. The tournament was a success, not only in terms of surfing prowess but also in spreading awareness about marine conservation. Jake's story of the encounter with the hammerhead shark resonated with many, encouraging a broader dialogue on the importance of respecting and protecting the ocean's wildlife. Ultimately, Jake's journey from a competitive surfer to a conservation advocate highlighted the transformative power of direct experiences with nature. The encounter with the hammerhead shark had not only altered his view of the ocean, it also inspired a communal effort to ensure human activities and marine life coexist. Through education, respect, and proactive conservation efforts, Jake and the surfing community of North Shore, Oahu, had begun to forge a more sustainable relationship with the ocean. This legacy would inspire future generations to continue protecting the planet's precious marine ecosystems.